Kevin Harvick won his sixth race of the season with a dominating performance at the Charlotte Roval. He comes into the round of 12 a full race above the cut line. Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, and Trevor Bayne were all eliminated in the round of 16. As we head into the round of 12 now, who's going to survive and advance to the round of 8?
Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. We are starting the round of 12 today in Dover for our Cup Series event. You see the four drivers out: Keselowski, Johnson, Menard, and Suarez. Kevin Harvick, the only guy that's really safe right now. Second through 12th is going to be a close battle as we come into this round. 7 points to the good since Keselowski is 2 out, which makes us 7 to the good, even though it says 5. So we're going into Dover here looking pretty strong. We had a decent car in the spring race. Obviously, had some bad luck, but as we come straight to our qualifying lap, I decided to change the setup a little bit. What I had in the spring race was not a setup that I really enjoyed, and this one I certainly enjoyed better. It just felt better on the track.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs picks up in Dover, Delaware. This race marks the beginning of the round of 12 after 4 drivers were eliminated in Charlotte last week. If those remaining 12 wish to move on, they'll have to conquer the formidable Monster Mile, a concrete oval with 24 degrees of banking in the turns and 9 degrees of banking in the straights. The drivers are ready. Miles the Monster is ready. So pull up a chair. NASCAR Playoff Racing is coming up next.
We are ready to get going here. Jimmie Johnson starts on the pole. The legend of this racetrack obviously has the most wins here. Ross Chastain apparently somehow dominant all weekend. Eric Jones failed technical inspection. He's sent to the back. Michael McDowell gave up qualifying position for new tires, so he will start in the back. No playoff driver sent to the back to start this round of 12, so everyone is legal and ready to get going here in Dover. Jimmie Johnson leads us to the green flag alongside the 22 of Joey Logano. Playoff contenders up ahead. Chase Elliott just in front of me. He got eliminated last round along with Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, who sits behind me, as well as Trevor Bayne. So we have 3 of the guys that got eliminated last round right around me now as we come out of turn 2 for the first time down the back straightaway. A little bit of gap between myself and Chase Elliott, but we come into turn 3 alongside the 18 of Kyle Busch through the center of the corner. Certainly going to be careful with him now as we come out of the corner. Kyle Busch close to being a rival to me, as well as Chase Elliott, so we don't want to make them too annoyed throughout this next round of 12 as we try to close in on the round of 8. We cannot afford to have a bad race at this point in the season. Coming into this race, we're only 7 points to the good, so we're going to have really solid, strong, really performances throughout the rest of this season if we want to have a chance to compete for a championship in the round of 4 at Homestead, Miami. Now as we come to complete the second lap of this race behind Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer. And behind me we have Ryan Blaney in the 12 as we look to the inside of Kyle Busch for the moment. Down the back straightaway, we do get a chance to get to his inside as we go into turn 3 as he's going to use the middle line to try and stay ahead of me now as Joey Logano, who started second, is starting to fall backwards as Kyle Busch clears me on the exit of turn 4 across the line to complete the third lap. And as we come to lap 6 in this race, you see I still sat behind the 18 of Kyle Busch. I couldn't quite get around him or Boyer running the inside line, so I immediately jumped up to the top, seeing if we could pull something off, and immediately we got alongside the 18 of Kyle Busch now on his right door as we come through turns 1 and 2 to start the second.
Careful, still there.
But he keeps the car straight as he holds on to P7 now as we go into turns 3. You see the lead pack of the top 5 cars have pulled away quite a bit, so we are certainly falling behind trying to get past Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer as we hit 16 to go in stage 1, just struggling to get around these guys as we're finally getting at least a chance to try and find my way around them as we approach the right rear of Kyle Busch down the back straightaway, just trying to make that outside work because the inside is just not working right now when we're trying to get by them now as we come to lap 16 in this race. We're starting to see we're actually having some temperature issues. I'm not really sure what those were about, but every time I would get close to the end of the straightaway, the temps would start rising up to the point where it was becoming a warning sign on the screen. So I'm not sure why we were having this problem because I only have, I think, 40% grill tape coming into this race. So certainly something that we're going to have to be careful with. But it didn't seem like to be too much of an issue right now, as we still battle side by side with Kyle Busch on lap 27 of 29 in stage 1, just struggling to get by these guys as we come to 2 to go in the stage, trying to get a run on the 18 now as we come into turns 1, battling with him pretty good throughout this whole stage now. He's probably not the happiest with me because we've made a little bit of contact with him every few laps, so it's certainly going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But now we're coming to turns 3 and 4, still alongside him to take the white flag. This time by now in stage 1, and up ahead we have some smoke and everyone's slowing up, and I'm going to go around the outside of Quinn Boyer, and we're going to gain a whole bunch of positions because there's a whole bunch of cars stuck behind Brendan Gaughan, who blew an engine, and we're going to go from P8 to 2nd place now on the last lap in stage 2. So we're going to steal an extra 6 points as we come through turns 3 and 4, as Martin Truex Jr. currently leads. And And these 6 points we just gained could really be beneficial in the long run as we close in on the end of the round of 12, as we're going to be restarting P2 alongside Martin Truex Jr. likely, as we're going to take 4 tires. It's pretty straightforward because our tires are very worn, so we take 4 tires on the pit stop now as we get ready to start stage 2. And we do come out of pit road in P2 still alongside Martin Truex Jr. with Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick behind us to start stage 2 as AI don't get very good restarts obviously in this game, so I try to slow up to accommodate to them. Otherwise, if I went full speed on the restarts, I'd blow them away, and that's not legit. So we certainly lose a bit of time on this restart, running the outside line, allowing the 48 to get clear of me, as well as Truex obviously. Now Chase Elliott looking to my inside. Elliott, no wins yet this season, as he is on my bottom line now under me as we get cleared by him, so we fall in line behind him. He got eliminated last round, so he's obviously not going to have a chance at a championship, but maybe next season, as really him just not being able to get a win or any playoff points really bit him in the back in this round of 16 for him. So hopefully next season, well, not hopefully for me because I don't like Chase Elliott, but hopefully for the Elliott fans in here that he will run better next season, as he's running really good right now as we come out of turn 4. Now as we sit P4 behind him to cross the line to take the 3rd lap now of stage 2. Just trying to be really careful right now. I know we don't need to make any mistakes or take any risks because we don't want to take any big hits in the points. Obviously coming into this round only 7 to the good. Obviously though, stage 1 finishing 2nd certainly helped us, as we should have finished 8th, so that will be beneficial. But the only driver that can afford to have a bad finish is Kevin Harvick. He can afford at least 1 bad race and he will still be well above the cut line likely. But anyone else right now, second on back, if you have a bad race, you're in big trouble. As now we come to lap 12 in stage 2, you see Truex, Johnson, and Chase Elliott, they all pulled away as we come to lap 13, 15 to go in stage 2. And once again, you're starting to see the temperature icon come up on my HUD, and I really didn't understand why I was getting this issue, because the temperature or the grill tape is the exact same as it was in the spring race, and it's pretty much the exact same as it is at any other track. And for some reason we're getting some type of overheating issue as at the very end of these straightaways it just comes up, and it was starting to last a little bit longer into the corners as we're really struggling to keep the temperatures down, and they were getting higher and higher to the point where at some points it almost lasted around this whole track that the temperature icon would pop up. So certainly having some type of overheating issue right now, so I'm starting to maybe back up the pace just a little bit to try and keep the car cool as we try to maybe just hang on and get to the end of stage 2. If we can make it to the end of stage 2, then we should be able to take the grill tape down. As you see, the oil temperature is at 226 when we go into turn 3, and I'm Canadian, so I don't even know what that means because it's not in Celsius, but either way I know that it's not good if the temperature icon is coming up. As you can see now, it's staying up for nearly the full lap, so certainly a big issue for me now as we come to 4 laps to go in this race, or in stage 2, sorry. Still an issue with the temperature, but we're way behind the cars ahead now at this point as I backed up the pace quite a bit, hoping that the temperatures would cool down, and they've started to cool down a bit as you're not seeing the temperature icon come up anymore at this point as we come out of turn 4 to hit 3 laps to go in stage 2. I believe Jimmy Johnson is 2nd place, might be going for the lead right now. As you see, the AI, Johnson and Elliott are being held up big time now as we come out of turn 2. Matt DiBenedetto holding them both up, and this might be an advantage to me. We might be able to catch these guys and maybe once again steal a few points late in the stage as we're coming to 2 to go. Truex is leading as he is behind a handful of cars as we come across the line. The temperature doesn't seem to be a problem right now, but it certainly was a big problem for a moment, but hopefully we should be okay as we come through turns 1 and 2 on the exit of 2 down the back straightaway. Huge run on Elliott and Johnson, who's stuck behind Benedetto still as we go into turns 3. Now the temperature thing is coming up again, so certainly got to fix that now as we come out of turn 4. We're going to steal third and second, it looks like, from Johnson as we cross the line to hit the white flag in stage 2. Now alongside the 48 into turns 1, going way wide, making sure to give them the space they need as we come out of turn 2, closing up on their doors as we come out of the corner now, ahead of the 48 and the 9, clearing Matt Benedetto as we come into turn 3 behind Truex as he is being held up big time as we have a big run on him out of turn 4, but it's not going to be enough as Truex will win the stage and we will finish P2 once again in stage 2. We have practically stolen 8 stage points in this race, so those 8 points could be huge in this round of 12 when we get to the end of the round and everyone's pitting. We're going to be taking 4 tires once again, and immediately we need to take the wheel tape down at least to 30%. I'm playing it safe here because we could risk it and kind of keep the temps higher, but I think it would be way too costly if we had a problem and we could get eliminated from the playoffs as the green flag is out and the final stage is underway alongside the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy Johnson behind him to give him some help as we have Chase Elliott behind me who has a chance to get into the inside line, but he's going to force a 3 wide on the restart now as Clint Boyer looks to the inside as we're going to lose a handful of positions down the back straightaway as we fall back to P5 after restarting in second place with Denny Hamlin now on my inside line as we go way wide through turns 3, trying to get down in front of Almirola. We do hang on to the spot there as we sit behind Hamlin as we cross the line to take the second lap in the final stage. So certainly not a great restart, but as long as we can kind of get slowly back forwards, we should be okay now down the back straightaway alongside the 11 of Denny Hamlin as Jimmy Johnson is all over the back bumper of Martin Truex Jr. trying to take the lead back after Johnson started on the pole but just hasn't really had the performance to show for that pole as he's drifted back at times in this race. But now here he is in second place once again now as we sit behind the 9 of Elliott, 2 by 2 here with Boyer and Elliott and myself and Hamlin as we come down the back straightaway, pushing Elliott, nearly trying to get to his bumper as we go into turns 3. Chase Elliott certainly though is proving that he maybe does deserve to be in this round of 12, but he just didn't have the performances he needed in the round of 16 to get here now as we cross the line to take 35 laps to go in the final stage of this race as Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch now are trying to join this little battle with myself and Hamlin as we basically we have nowhere to go behind the 14 and the 9. If I go up to this third line like I try right here, we're not going to be able to make it work. As you see, I lose way too much time through the center of the corner to be able to do anything on the exit. So as we come to lap 69 though, Elliott finally got ahead of Boyer, and now I'm still battling myself with Denny Hamlin on my inside as we get very tight on his door on the exit of turn 2, and that allows me to pull ahead just a little bit. But as we come into turn 3, he's still able to look to my inside, but we're pulling away just a little bit to where we might be able to clear him very shortly. As we come out of turn 4, we do get ahead of Hamlin now as we go to the outside of Boyer down the straightaway to hit 31 laps to go as we look into turns 1 on the outside now of the 14 through the center of the corner, and we had a really good turn 1 entrance, and now we're going to have a pretty solid turn 2 exit, and that's going to allow me to go up to P4 clear of Clint Boyer, and that is now going to set me free to allow myself to try and run down the 9 of Elliott to take third. Now getting up to second and first of Johnson and Truex, that's going to be a different story. It's going to be very hard to do that as now we come to lap 76. We have certainly pulled away from the cars behind, but I have basically gained nothing on Chase Elliott with 24 laps to go, certainly running out of time. But P4 is nothing to be really disappointed about, so we are running pretty much exactly where we need to be running. If we run in the top 5, we get a caution, but if we keep running here, we should be okay. So I wasn't too concerned, other than we're going to be restarting on the outside line. Certainly not what I was looking forward to. If we get a restart, I want to be on the inside. I don't think we restarted on the inside at all in this race as the green flag flies once again for possibly the final time. This time we're going to give the 48 of Jimmy Johnson a bit of a shove into turns 1 as he's trying to get ahead of Truex, but he's not able to do so as we come through the center of the corner. Denny Hamlin on my back bumper, and once again, not a very good restart. I think it was better than the last one though, as we clear Clint Boyer down the back straightaway already, and immediately I drop to the inside and I overshoot the entrance of turn 3, and that allows Boyer to get back to my inside as Jimmy Johnson falls into line as we try to get to the outside of the 48, but we're just not able to do so. But we do once again clear Boyer down the front straightaway into turns 1 on the bumper of Jimmy Johnson, as Chase Elliott has passed him to take second place, and he is trying to show that he deserves to be in this round, even though he didn't make it, as he tries to get his first win of the season. Now right on the back bumper still of Jimmy Johnson, who's really been so fast in this race, but he hasn't had the speed at the right times to show for it. Now as we look to the inside of the 48 going into turns 1, 19 laps to go, as we battle alongside the 7-time champion of Jimmy Johnson. We clear him out of turn 4, or turns 2, and now we go up to P3 down the back straightaway. Now it's time to set our eyes on the 9 car of Elliott and the 78 of Truex, and it's going to be hard to run these guys down because the longer we're running, obviously the right front tires are wearing quite a bit, and this track is pretty hard on the tires, so I know that this right front's wearing. We're going to start losing time before long, but right now we're pretty much keeping pace with these guys as we come to lap 87. Jimmy Johnson, we pulled away from him a little bit, but now at this point in the race he's run me back down, as he looks to be one of the fastest cars on the track. He gets to my inside out of turn 4, and I decide, you know what, we're gonna go into turns 1, and I might as well let him have the position, so I just casually let him drive on by, give him as much room as he needs. I'm not going to try to get right on his door or anything or side draft him. So we come out of turn 2 now, back to P4 behind the 48 of Johnson, and I decide we're going to just let him go and see if he can run these guys down as we come to now lap 91 in this race, still right behind the 48. When he passed me, I thought he was going to just drive away, but that was not the case. We've actually kind of maintained pace with him for the most part, as he is not really able to run down the 78 or the 9 of Chase Elliott as we hit 9 laps to go in this race, just trying to hang in this draft with the 48. Maybe that's what's helping me the most stick with him, as we have a huge gap to the cars behind. We're just trying to hang on to P4 at this point in the race, as Truex just leads about half a car length over Elliott, who has been on his back bumper for the majority of this last run. As now we come to lap 97, the right front tire was really starting to wear, and that is really playing dividends now. As you can see, I'm falling way back as we're coming to 3 laps to go in this race. The 48 hasn't gained on the cars in front, but we've certainly lost ground to the 48 of Jimmy Johnson as we hit 3 to go in this race, just trying to bring the car home at this point to get a 4th place finish. Certainly looking like it's going to be a good points day for us, and this is going to put us pretty good in the playoff picture. As you see briefly, I looked at my tires, and the right front tire was at 38% on the right front, so certainly not very good. Once you get into like the mid-20s, then you're really in trouble. That's when you need to start thinking about making a pit stop. But as we only have 2 laps to go, we shouldn't have to worry about that as we come out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Truex looking to get his first win of the playoffs now as we approach turns 3, taking the white flag this time by now as we sit P4 trying to hang on, and we get a caution. The first race of the round of 12 is about to be decided in overtime, and this is not good because our right front tire is very worn, and we're going to have to hang on. Maybe we might struggle to even get a top 10 here as we get ready to go green for the final time behind the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Ready.
And the green flag is back out, and we have 2 laps to go in this race. Immediately, I'm going to push the 9 of Chase Elliott ahead because I know he's not in the playoffs. So if we can keep Martin Truex Jr. from winning, he will not advance as a guarantee into the round of 8. So I decide to push him ahead, and immediately we go way wide, hitting the wall out of turn 2, certainly losing a lot of time. I knew this was going to be a problem with the right front tire, and we're just trying to maintain a top 10 the best we can, as I knew we were going to drop very fast through the field. Now as we come out of turn 4, pushing the 24 of William Byron across the line as the white flag is in the air. Chase Elliott trying to hang on for his first win of the season, 1 race after getting eliminated from the playoffs as we come out of turn 2 alongside the 88 of Alex Bowman for the final time into turns 3 and 4. Truex second, Jimmy Johnson sits P3 as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. We will exit the corner now, hitting the wall once more as we come across the line. We're going to get P11 in Dover. Certainly not the finish that we were expecting. If it would have stayed green, we would have sat in P4 at the end of this race, and we lost 7 positions due to overtime being forced on our hands as Chase Elliott gets his first win of the season as we pushed him out to the lead. I figured if I push him out to the lead and let him win this race, then Martin Truex Jr. can't lock himself in, so that really could help myself at the end of this round of 12 as we come home P11, So certainly something not very great, but really we can't be too disappointed as we've had a great first 2 stages in this race, as we are now 18 points, actually 21 points to the good, since Kyle Busch is your first driver out, 3 points out, and we said 21 to the good, so we're in decent shape going into Talladega, which is the next race, as Denny Hamlin is the last car in. Paul Menard already in a must-win situation, and Daniel Suarez looks like he is about to be in the same situation himself, as we bring home over $700,000 in this race. Now, we certainly have some drivers who are not very happy. Clint Boyer, he is not happy, so we apologize to him. Chase Elliott is not happy, very close to being a rival, so we apologize to him as well, as I do not need a rival at this point in the season. And Kyle Busch in the same situation, so we apologize to him to keep them from being rivals for now. If he would have provoked them, then they both would have been a rival, but we did not do that. Now, as in the next episode, we will have Talladega for the Truck Series and my Cup race, so tune in for that one in the next episode as we see who is going to be looking on the outside of the playoff grid in at the end of Talladega. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated, as you see Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, and Paul Menard all looking on the outside in going into Talladega. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.